Hello, everyone. I hope your week was awesome and that you have had a God-inspired time. I wanted to share with you what we would be discussing, or what we would have discussed on Thursday. We are continuing with our discussion of the 12 powers, and we're going to be talking about power, imagination, understanding, and will. The apostle for power is Philip. The location is the throat, back of the tongue or the voice box, and the color is purple. The ability to master, dominate, and control. It is the faculty that enables us to have authority over our own emotions or feelings, inspirations, and thoughts, not for controlling others. How does this power work through the law of mind action? Take a few seconds to think about how you would answer that. Our greatest creative power is generated by our realization of the power of divine mind within consciousness. Our spoken words are vehicles through which this power manifests in our lives. Power, or dominion, or mastery, is the means of bringing forth divine ideas on earth through divine order, or mind, idea, and manifestation. Power, dominion, or mastery in the absolute realm, well, first I'm going to do it from sense and personal consciousness. It's the ability to master and dominate thoughts and feelings based on sense consciousness only. Erroneous thoughts and feelings, dominating based on the outer realm. For example, someone who is domineering or controlling. From spiritual awareness or higher consciousness, it is the ability to have dominion and master thoughts and feelings based on divine ideas, truths, principles, and laws. A good affirmation might be, I claim my power of dominion now. I claim my power of dominion now. And a good scripture verse is from Genesis, the first chapter, the 26th verse. I have dominion over my beliefs, ideas, thoughts, and actions based on divine ideas. And the scripture says, let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the wild animals of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. Metaphysically, these animals and creatures represent thoughts and feelings. Imagination. I envision good unfolding in every area of my life. The word, the imagination, and faith work together. And this is a quote by Charles Fillmore from the book Jesus Christ Heals. The location for imagination is between the eyes. It is the color blue, light blue to be exact, and the apostle is Bartholomew. It is the ability to visualize, conceptualize, and envision in our conceiving, picturing, and conceptualizing faculties. It is the formative power of mind that shapes thoughts into mental images, which have color, variety, and dimension. It is our conceiving, picturing, and conceptualizing faculty. It is the formative power of mind that shapes thoughts into mental images, which have color, variety, and dimension. The highest use of imagination is to shape thoughts into images that most fully reflect the nature of the original divine ideas. And remember, imagination gives form to the formless. Imagination in the absolute realm is the ability to image, picture, conceptualize, envision, and dream. From sense and personal consciousness, it is the ability to envision all sorts of errors and horrors based on sense consciousness, erroneous thoughts and feelings, envisioning based on the outer realm, something like walking nightmares, fantasies, and delusions. From spiritual awareness or higher consciousness, it's the ability to envision and conceptualize divine ideas, trends, truths, principles, and laws. It is linked with faith. A good affirmation might be, I claim my power of imagination now. I give form and shape to divine ideas and substance. And the scripture verse, 2 Corinthians 3rd chapter, 18th verse is, Paul referred to the power of imagination when he said, and all of us with unveiled faces, seeing the glory of the Lord as though reflected in a mirror, are being transformed into the same image from one degree of glory to another. For this comes from the Lord, the Spirit. Imagination, here's another good affirmation. Imagination is awakened in me now. I have all the imagination I need to experience and express my highest good with ease and grace today. Understanding. The Apostle Thomas is the apostle that matches understanding. The location is the front forebrain and the color is gold. Understanding works with wisdom and love. It's the ability to know, perceive, comprehend, and to spiritually see. Understanding is the faculty by which we receive enlightenment and insight. It is our capacity to gain direct perceptions of truth and our faculty of spiritual intelligence. According to Charles Fillmore, will and know designate the faculties of mind that we term will and understanding. This is from Christian Healing, page 108. Understanding and will work hand in hand in one's spiritual development. Understanding in the absolute realm is the ability to know, perceive, comprehend, and apprehend. From sense and personal consciousness, it's the ability to know and comprehend based on sense consciousness, error thoughts, and feelings. The ability to know based on the outer relative realm. It's human knowledge or human knowing. From spiritual awareness or higher consciousness, it's the ability to know, comprehend, and apprehend the laws of thought and the relation of ideas, divine ideas, truths, principles, and laws, one to the other. It is spiritual knowledge. And a good affirmation is, I claim my power of understanding now. I know divine ideas. And from scriptures, the 2 Timothy, the second chapter, the 7th verse. Think over what I say, for the Lord will give you understanding in all things. Will, the apostle for will is Matthew, and the location is the front forebrain. The color is silver, and will works with understanding, wisdom, and love. Will is the ability to choose, decide, command, direct, and determine. It moves all the other powers or faculties or abilities, whatever you'd like to call it, to action. Will is the decision-making, directing, choosing, determining faculty of the mind. It is our capacity to say yes or no to opportunities and options. It works in conjunction with the faculty of understanding. The highest expression of human will is willingness. Will in the absolute realm is the ability to choose, decide, command, lead, and determine. From sense and personal consciousness, it's the ability to choose and lend based on sense consciousness. The outer realms. So it is willfulness, wrong-headedness, and obstinacy. From spiritual or higher awareness, the ability to choose and lead based on divine ideas, truths, principles, and laws. A good affirmation is, I claim my power of will now. I choose, decide, and lead based on divine ideas. And from Scripture, Matthew, the 26th chapter, the 42nd verse. Again he went away for the second time and prayed, My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done. No disciple can do any great overcoming work without a certain realization of the spiritual power, dominion, and mastery. Without power, one easily gives up to temporal laws or man-made. Through the vibrations of power in the throat, one can feel the power. I apologize, I'm ahead of myself. Developing and expressing the 12 powers, or power, dominion, and mastery. If a person binds or controls the appetites, passions, and emotions in the body, he or she establishes ability and power to control the same forces in the realms universal, out of which the heavens are formed. No disciple can do any great overcoming work without a certain realization of the spiritual power of dominion and mastery. Without power, one easily gives up to temporal laws or man-made laws. Through the vibrations of power in the throat, one can feel the power of unity with the higher self more quickly than in any other way. Jesus affirms in Matthew, the 28th chapter, the 18th verse, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. In other words, all power is given unto me in heaven, which represents the mind, and the earth represents the body. Quicken power or dominion or mastery through the spiritual activity of the Christ, focusing your attention on the throat as you deny and affirm. Denial. I give no power to thoughts and feelings about not being in control. And a good affirmation to follow the denial is, I use divine power and dominion to master my thoughts and feelings. All power is given unto me in heaven and earth. Imagination. All things, including the mind, work from center to circumference. So how can we quicken imagination? As a person develops an understanding, the imagination is the first of the latent faculties to quicken. The highest and best of the imagination is the marvelous transformation that it works in character. Imagine that you are one with the principle of good, and you will become truly good. To imagine oneself perfect fixes the idea of perfection in the invisible mind substance, and the mind forces at once begin the work of bringing forth perfection. Quicken imagination through the spiritual activity of the Christ. Keep your attention centered between the eyes as you deny and affirm, I use divine imagination to be the best Christ I can be. I am the image and likeness of divine mind. Jesus is here now, raising me to the consciousness of divine imagination, and I see spiritual perfection everywhere. The first step in quickening these powers is to ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Prayer also is one form of asking, seeking, and knocking. Then make your mind receptive to the higher understanding through silent meditations and affirmations of truth. The earnest desire to understand spiritual things will open the way, and revelation within and without will follow. Quicken understanding through the spiritual activity of the Christ. Where should you focus your attention as you deny and affirm to quicken understanding? Focus your attention on the front brain. A good denial. I release all power based entirely upon what I think I know from my senses. I release the power to thoughts of ignorance. A good affirmation. I am one in infinite understanding. Jesus Christ is now here, raising me to his consciousness of divine understanding, and all my mental activities are spiritual. Will. The will must be strengthened by being constantly used in divine understanding. The problem of self-control is never settled until all that a person is comes into touch with a divine will and understanding. You must understand all your forces before you can establish them in harmony. The overcoming is easy if you go about it in the right way. But if you try to take dominion through will, force, and suppression, you will find it hard and will never accomplish any permanent results. Get your I am centered in God, and from that place of truth, speak true words. Not my will, but thine be done, is one of the most far-reaching affirmations of Jesus. For those who follow him and keep his sayings, are finding great peace and relaxation of mind and body. Quicken will through the activity of the Christ. Keep your attention centered on the front of the brain as you deny and affirm, I give no power to choices and decisions made entirely from sense consciousness. And affirm, let me go and do that denial again because I noticed I said the word no power. I release all power to choices and decisions made entirely from sense consciousness. I use divine will to make wise choices and decisions. I release my ego-based will and use divine mind. Jesus Christ is now here, raising me to his consciousness of divine will, and I continually will to do the will of divine mind. Will is awakened in me now. I have all the will I need to experience and express my highest good with ease and grace today. And that ends what I intended to share. And I encourage you to work with these 12 powers for the rest of the week so that you can activate them and refine them. And I will look forward to seeing your work. Until then, may you be continually blessed.